Alright, let's start with the big question here. Can a 74-hectare solar farm coexist with a 900-year-old abbey? Because that's exactly what's happening in Horningsea, and honestly, it's a microcosm of the energy transition dilemma we're all facing. Personally, I think this clash between renewable energy and heritage conservation is way more nuanced than people realize. Let's unpack why this project is getting approved despite the objections and what it says about the future of green development. First off, the numbers. 13,000 homes powered, 40 years of operation, then farmland restored. Sounds straightforward, right? But here's the twist, the land isn't just any farmland. It's next to Biggin Abbey, a historic site tied to the bishops of Ely. The conservation officer's objection isn't just NIMBYism, they're arguing the solar panels would damage the abbey's setting. What does that even mean? To me, it's about preserving the visual and cultural context of heritage sites. Imagine Mont Saint-Michel surrounded by wind turbines, it'd feel off, wouldn't it? But is that enough to block climate action? Now, the council's counterargument. Renewable energy needs outweigh the heritage concerns. That makes sense on paper, but what's the endgame? A 40-year temporary installation in a greenbelt area? I'd argue 40 years is basically permanent in infrastructure terms. Once panels go in, how realistic is it that the land gets returned to crops? And let's not forget the adjacent sewage works debacle. Anglian Water's funding collapse adds chaos to the equation. This isn't just a solar farm, it's a test of how we prioritize competing public goods. What fascinates me is the broader pattern here. This isn't about one abbey or one village. It's the tension between urgent climate action and the slow, messy reality of implementation. Governments push renewables, but local objections, valid or not, delay projects. Meanwhile, funding gaps for infrastructure like sewage plants reveal how unprepared we are for this transition. The Cambridge Growth Company chair insisting the sewage works aren't dead? That's corporate optimism clashing with fiscal reality. But here's the kicker. The council's report claims the solar farm won't undermine the green belt when put into context. That phrase feels like bureaucratic sleight of hand. Context for whom? The Abbey's 900-year history or the next 40 years of energy policy. This isn't just a local story, it's a metaphor for every community grappling with decarbonization's trade-offs. How do we honor the past without mortgaging the future? And at what point do we admit that green solutions often come with their own hidden costs? So, what's my takeaway? This solar farm isn't the enemy. The real problem is pretending these decisions are simple. Every energy transition has casualties, whether it's coal towns or heritage landscapes. The harder question is, who decides which sacrifices are acceptable? What do you think? Should history bow to solar panels, or are we sleepwalking into a future where every green project faces a heritage standoff? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on balancing progress and preservation.